Are ferrets solitary animals? There seems to be a bit of debate going on from some European countries that ferrets are, in fact, solitary animals and shouldn't be kept in groups. If you want to find out the answer, stay watching. In the past few years, there's been a school of thought from some European countries where they believe that ferrets are in fact solitary animals based on their wild cousins, the European polecat, because European polecats are solitary animals themselves. And I kind of understand this perspective. I get it. One of the arguments that they have is that ferrets can get very stressed if they're in a group of other ferrets. And to a certain degree, I agree with this, because what I've noticed has been happening more and more of in the ferret community is that instead of being animal carers and ferret lovers, we're suddenly turning into ferret collectors. Ferret math strikes again. I have another ferret. Something that you commonly hear in the ferret community. But it seems like this idea of collecting ferrets just for the sake of having a lot of them in a group is coming from an egotistical perspective, from a human perspective, and it's not taking the animal's consideration into the decision-making process. So for example, what I mean is that a ferret might not want to be amongst other ferrets. Yes, there are ferrets that love being social. I mean, 2,500 years of domestication has produced animals, ferrets, that are a lot more social. They're a lot more kit-like, some of them enjoy being in groups, and sometimes they don't get stressed. Sometimes they actually enjoy it. That's why you get ferrets that get depressed when their cage mates die. We've bred them to be more social, or the ones that weren't social just didn't survive and didn't breed. So you can't ignore the fact that there's 2,500 years of domestication of these animals that has made them more social. So they're not as close to the European polecat anymore as they were 2,500 years ago. On the other side, however, we do have this mindset and this myth that all ferrets need to be in groups. All ferrets need to have friends or else they'll get depressed. And this is not true either. Not all ferrets enjoy being in a business or a group of ferrets. Take example, this Yuki butt for example. Boop, boop, boop. What are you doing, little butt? She was once in a group of 4 ferrets. When the other ones passed away, I tried introducing her to other ferrets, but I found that she was getting far too stressed with other ferrets, and we decided to let her be by herself. And she seems to be thriving in this environment with not having any other ferrets around her. She has bonded with us humans a lot more. She interacts with the dog and with the cat. So she's still social in those kind of respects, but she also likes being independent, eating lots of food, and just being on her own. If I was to force her in a situation where she would have to be in a group of ferrets, she would become highly stressed and possibly depressed and anxious. So I would never do that to her because I know her. I have observed her behavior, I understand her, and I'm willing to listen to what she needs and what she wants as well. Which I feel like this is a skill that hasn't quite been developed amongst many ferret owners in the community. When you're coming from a place of ego, you're taking into consideration your wants and your needs and not taking into the consideration the wants of the ferrets that you currently have and the ferret that is about to join your group. The ferrets that you currently have might enjoy having the group dynamic that they do, and they might not want to have another ferret join them. Or if you have a single ferret like Yuki, that ferret might enjoy being by itself and might not want to be in a group of ferrets. So as ferret carers and ferret guardians, we need to take their perspective into consideration as well. And don't turn into ferret collectors, because ferret collectors don't take the animal's perspective into consideration. I talk about this in a little bit more detail in this month's Duk Duk Ferret magazine, which is all about animal communication and being able to sit still and listen to animals and look at their world from their perspective. So I hope you check it out. You can purchase it below, and also make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel. We release new videos every week, so make sure you subscribe, and subscribe to the Ferret-World newsletter because we give away a ferret first aid and emergency care ebook there too, in case your ferret ever ends up in an emergency situation and you need to help it. So check that out as well. And that's it for me today. Ducks and kisses for you. Mwah!